Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaycee Gaspar, my full-time scientist, part-time content creator, and card maker. And today I'm joined by Altenew. Today's my Altenew monthly live that I do with them. So of course they're very generous today, and I just want to make sure before we continue that you can hear me. I did some audio modifications so that hopefully you don't get my fan. Thank you for all these suggestions last week about my camera. So we're just going to hope the gremlins stay away this time and everything goes smoothly. So hello, Kathy. Hello, everyone. Leanne, and thank you so much for joining me on a regular basis. Michael, good to see you again. And of course, I think we have Mitzi in the clouds. She'll be helping me out today. So yeah, once I hear or once I see any sort of thumbs up that my audio is good, hopefully you can hear me just fine. Again, I did some clipping so that you don't hear the fan. That keeps my camera cool. And this time I really made sure that I turned off that notification so that the camera doesn't turn off midstream, because that was horrible. So, okay. Seems like it's still a little faint, but otherwise a lot of people are saying that it sounds good. So great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so in the States, it's the day before Thanksgiving. So, you know, we're getting a lot of Black Friday deals, and a lot of you who join me are international. So either way, you can still cut out in a good deal today. So Mitzi's helping me out today again, and we do have an exclusive offer today that I want to start with as people start piling in. So it looks like we have about 35 this evening for me. So that's why I always put the tech gremlins. It's like I can never seem to shake them off. Or they visit, and then they go away, and they went away for a while, and then they really wanted to come back the last time I was live. So anyway, we're going to really hope they stay away. I saged my craft space so they can all go away. But okay. Deals. So it's the day before Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday week, you know, for everything. So there will be some items that I'll be using during today's live, and one of them has an exclusive deal. So today through Friday, there is a deal on the Crafty Flower Prairie Roses layering die set, which I'll be using today. I'm really excited about this one, and I'll describe why I chose this flower in just a moment. But if you use my code Jaycee Live 4, number 4, so this is the fourth time I've gone live with Altenew, then you'll get 45% off on Crafty Flower Prairie Roses layering die set. So that's if you have it on a standalone, you'll get a great deal out of this one. And I also did test this on my cart, so I wanted to make sure that you all were getting a good deal on that one. So there's that one, Crafty Flower Prairie Roses layering die set. Today only is 60% off on the sticky mat grade, which you will also see today. 20 bucks off, or it's going to be $20 once, and there's no code needed for this one, so the discount is automatically applied. So you can put Crafty Flower Prairie Roses layering die set. You can put this one in your cart. And then if your cart adds up to $69 or above, today only is another exclusive offer, which is the Heritage Chevron Weaves stencil. So you get this added to your cart for free as a free gift, again, over $69. Beautiful stencil. I like that the card example that's over on this side, they kind of staggered it, so you get this really nice and interesting geometric background. So use this with your sticky mat grid. You can even use this with the Craft of Flower Prairie Roses layering die set. Looks gorgeous. And then if you spend, by default, if you spend over $29, then you get free US shipping. There's no code for that. Or you can get $10 off international shipping. Now, you can't combine the international shipping offer with the Craft the Flower Prairie Roses layering die set because it needs the typed in code. But you can still save whichever way you choose. So if you don't go over $129, and then you can still get $10 off. So yeah, stack those deals, Miss Kathy. That's what I always say. I used to work retail, so anytime I'm able to like secretly, I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate, right? It's just like, you can stack these coupons. There are so many ways to do it. So yes, sorry, I saw the chat kept scrolling. I just want to make sure that there isn't anything I missed. That's right, Carrie, because I think you asked about the sticky mat grid. It was it last live or 2 lives ago. So, and I did take a look at the Black Friday page at Altenew. Tons of great deals. I saw a lot of great deals on the artist markers. So it shouldn't be hard to get the free gift that's mentioned here. And this is today only. The sticky mat grid deal is also today only. So yes, where are we at? 7:37. We'll just keep it going with those deals. So everything is linked in the description box below, of course. It would really help me out if you used my, ooh, sorry, changing the scenes too much. If you use my code, Jaycee Life 4, right here. And if you click on that tiny URL link that's in my description box, this code is already applied. So you should be able to add the Prairie Roses layering die set, and then this discount code will automatically be added to your cart. And then you can add other things like the sticky mat grid, and you take advantage of that free shipping. So, all right. How are we feeling? Okay. I think we should get started. The card I have today is, let me just get this off here. The card that I have today was, you know, it's winter time in Colorado. We haven't had any snow yet, but it's been very cold, and so my roses have gone to sleep. And for one of the reasons, a rose that went to sleep last year did not come back, but came back weirdly. So I was thinking about it the other day. The rose I had was Coco Loco, and you know, roses are grafted onto a different sort of root system. And the root system that it's typically grafted onto is called Dr. Huey. And when this rose died back, it actually died back to the own root rose. And that was the first time I was able to see this grafted rose variety. So I thought a lot about this, obviously, but the coloration of it was just so distinct. It's like this really deep red, and I thought it was just really suitable as we move into like the Christmas holidays, the December holidays, to incorporate these classical red and green palettes. And I was thinking of just, I don't know, just vintage classical holiday cards. So it was a really long and really strung out sort of tangent that came to this design, but I had to do it. Prairie Roses was perfect for that, and some of the other items that I used were perfect for that. And yes, I was able to resolve the heating issues for my camera. I am going to leave it on. I turned off that notification like you mentioned. I Googled it before I went live, so I turned off that setting. It should not go off anymore, but also my concern was that you could hear the fan that I used to cool down my camera anyway. It used to get picked up by my microphone. So we'll see. We'll see if that, you shouldn't hear it in the background. In fact, when I stop talking, which probably won't be a lot in this live stream, you shouldn't hear it anymore. So, sorry, there's a lot of things happening in the chat. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. It helps if you put question in the chat, just like anybody else's live stream. And if I miss something, you know, Mitzi will help me out if you're asking about a specific product. So she'll throw it in, she'll make it rain, all the links. So yay, okay. let's get started. 7:40, so hopefully it'll take about an hour and a half to make this card today. And I've prepped everything. So no time wasted, all right? Let me bring this out. I'm just gonna make some adjustments to my focus real quick. I forgot to do that before I went live. So that we don't give anybody vertigo. Okay. So on my mat here, I started with this. It says Timeless Sentiments 3, but it's the Timeless Sentiments Holiday Edition. And I picked this All Is Calm die set when I was picking the design of this card. Again, I was thinking of more holiday themes. So I thought this All Is Calm is a very nice and, you know, very generic feeling sentiment, but it has that holiday feeling as well. So let me move this off to the side. And I already die cut all of these pieces on my little tray here. So as people pile in, hopefully we'll just get this really simple task done, which is stacking the sentiment. Thank you. And of course, Altenew's in the chat today. I don't know if I mentioned that a few times, but yeah. Great deals happening, of course, all week long with Altenew. If you subscribe to the newsletter, they're communicating what's going on. I'm excited to see what's coming up, and I've been checking out what's been happening on there is a Black Friday tab on their website right now. And it's just a good place to see if there's something that you've been eyeing that hopefully it has gone on sale or will go on sale. And one thing to mention too before I keep going is I know many of you are probably with families right now, so I appreciate you joining me this evening in my studio. So fortunately, I do have the day off from work tomorrow. Usually on Wednesday, it's like right after live stream, it is time for bed. Because I have to go to work in the morning, but not this time. And many of you, I think, those of you who are comfortable mentioning where you were in the chat, I did notice a lot of you were stateside. I do, because of the time I go live, I know a lot of people go live or join me internationally. So yes. You do have this set. Oh, that's good. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're spending it with me. Because otherwise for me, I would probably be doing card related work anyway. So it's just nice that you could, you know, be in my crafty space with me. I'm just stacking these layers from All Is Calm. I cut this from just a 80-pound white cardstock, and I'm using my liquid glue to apply a little bit, to the back and stack these. I just love a good chipboard-like sentiment. And with this one, there's not too many disconnected layers. Miss Zilski, is it you who reminds people of the tittle? The eye, the dotted part of the eye? I feel like I've heard it on your live stream before. Or was that somebody else? I hope I'm not mistaken. Yes, I appreciate you, for those of you who joined me from the East Coast. I know it's late, so I appreciate you joining, whether it's, you know, during the live session or during the replay. Yes, the tittle, that's right. Yes. Was it Laura Basson too? We gotta love Laura Basson. We just saw her in Concord and Ninth when we did the summer camp. So, and of course Miss Zilski as well. She was there virtually. And let's see, I'm just applying now the last bit of glue to these layers. And what I have here is a panel, or a panel, the offset shadow die cut, cut from brushed gold cardstock. So this is the Altenew gold cardstock. So easy to align. Hopefully I applied enough glue. If not, we'll find out pretty quickly. Okay. What was I going to mention while you all are here? Those of you who are on the East Coast, I know it is late. On December 3rd, and soon on my channel, I should have a post about when I'm going live in December. But December 3rd, I will be going live, as well as the following day on December 4th. Now, on December 4th, I'm actually going on a little bit earlier, at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. So just 2 hours earlier than when we started today. And we're just gonna hope that I get off work on time and get to my studio on time. But yeah, definitely Wednesday, December 3rd at 19:30 Mountain Standard Time, and then at the following day 2 hours earlier. So I hope that, you know, you all can catch me live then. I don't want to divulge too much. I just want to encourage you to see, but I should have notifications on my YouTube channel in the form of posts. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see them there as well, the little announcements that should be coming up. Huh, okay, there we go. All is calm. Just like I hope this live stream to me. So, okay, I will set this aside. And let's see, let's bring in other non-foreground elements and as people slowly join. So yeah, 51 folks. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'll try to recap all of the deals that I mentioned at the beginning and all of that. So I do know last week I mentioned my least favorite crafting technique is heat embossing. And then here I am, I've heat embossed twice this month. So I used the Cornered Blooms outline stamp set. And I used these two images right here. And you're able to heat emboss the top part and bottom part on the sticky mat grid and the stamp wheel. So I did that with a gold heat embossing powder. This wasn't the Altenew one because I don't have it, but I think this one's close enough to the Altenew gold embossing powder. And so I just really like, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I was thinking of like a vintage holiday card, Christmas card. And for some reason, like this particular stamp set really stuck out in my head as sort of lending its style to that sort of appearance. So again, I did that twice, top and bottom, with a embossing ink, and then I used a gold embossing powder. I got a little bit of overspray, I guess, over embossing on some elements, but you won't be able to tell once we're done. I just love that and this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel of Evergreen cardstock. Of course, Evergreen, I thought that was going to be the most fitting color palette for this card. And then you'll see the roses and the other flower images that I decided to put on top. And sorry, I saw my name pop up real quick. Oh yes, I'm glad you signed up for my Stampwheel 2.0 class. Oh, that's already next year. We are so close. And it's all happening so fast. Dorothy, thank you so much for your feedback on online card classes. Ms. Zilski was there too, I think, and Miss Bassin. It was a great time. So definitely used the kit that was there, but you can also use a lot of the Altenew products as well for recreating this 4-layered card, or making 4 holiday cards at one time. So There was like a similarly styled snow globe set from Altenew. If you have that one, you could have adapted that to my class. I don't want to divulge too much because it's proprietary, but anyway, yes. Stamp this for a nice, gorgeous frame. We'll fill in the center here. Um, but I will move this over to the side, close by. And now let's talk about that main element. So again, there is a discount code on this one, Jaycee Live 4. I've also included it in the description box. It's 45% off today, tomorrow, and Friday. But some of the deals that I mentioned at the beginning were just today only. Oh, that's cool. There's a sampler pack now. That's great. Okay. So Mitzi just dropped that in the chat that there's a sampler pack for the cardstocks. So I am using a few of the cardstocks today. If I forget to mention them, please let me know. But you know what? I'm just going to mention it now. This is Forest Glades Crafty Necessities cardstock, which is in the same color family as Evergreen, the dye ink. So that's green fields. And then right here, I cut all of the flower center elements from Maple Yellow cards. Sorry, Honey Drizzle from Honey Drizzle cardstock. And then that Dr. Huey rose that I mentioned at the beginning, the sort of source inspiration for this card, is right here. And I cut that from Heartbeat, Crafty Necessities cardstock. I just really wanted like that bright, like primary red. And then we'll add some depth details to this one. So, yes. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. I got your text. I just haven't responded. I had to think a little bit about it. Okay. So, Prairie Roses layering die set, 45% off. Jaycee Live 4, the number 4. Love this die set, especially because, you know, I have about, I think I counted about 21 varieties of roses in my garden. So anytime Altenew comes out with a rose set, I feel like I also have to have it. Anyway, but prairie roses are a type of North American wild rose, by the way. Yeah, we'll keep that close by as well. Actually, I'll need it for the layering guide on the back. And of course, it features Altenew's keyhole alignment system. Perfect for aligning all of these images and layers together, which we'll definitely use to our advantage. So let me pull this other element or item. This is also today only $20, which is great. I could definitely use a backup, a backup for my backup sticky mat grid, but I've had the same one since it came out. So I'm excited. It's still just as sticky, works great for doing all of my ink blending techniques on top of. So I like to arrange my die cut pieces in order. I have this fused circle element. Let me just pop out the center so that you can see a little bit better. One portion of the circle is larger than the smaller piece, so you can't inadvertently like flip it around, you know? And no worries about coming in late. I just appreciate you joining me. I don't know if you're stateside, you know, I appreciate that those of you who have family in or busy cooking, you know, that you've decided to join me this evening. Rose Petal and Forest Trail. Rose Petal is such a gorgeous set. Rose Petal was also one of my first purchases, but I paired Rose Petal with Warm Gray because I saw another Altenew designer, Aga. It was probably Aga or maybe it was Lydia. It was that classic vintage flower stamp set, and it was rose petals with like that warm gray foliage element. Perfect. I just thought it was amazing. It was the best thing ever. So how do you put them in order? Are they numbered? Oh, good question. So some of these have, I can't zoom in right now, But on, oh, maybe I can show you on the layering die set. Some of the um, layers have like dot etching on them. So this is the flower that I'm assembling or that I have on my sticky mat grid right now. There's like little braille dots almost, little indentations that have 1, 2, and 3 dots to them. So that's how you know that they're supposed to go in order. This one actually has the numbers etched in them, so you can see 1, 2, and 3 and read them. But that's how you can tell which order they go in. Sorry, I saw a question. Oh, it's just excitement over the cardstock sampler. Yay! But yeah, good question. Yeah, good to point that out because, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the Altenew keyhole alignment system, so for me it's instinctual, but I know not everybody's familiar with them. This one has like this upside down T-shaped, has the etching actually in the center, and you won't see any of these elements once the flower is assembled, which is nice. And then there's this up arrow image. And I'm just going from left to right in numerical order, reading the etching on the die. There's also this little bud image. And I'll also, oops, take this image here to ink blend onto. And I'm going to set this one aside for now. Well, I'm glad you picked up Coral Charm Peony. Bridget, my dynamic duo, you know, counterpart, her favorite flower is the peony. So, fun fact. And I've also akin to it as well because the thing about peonies, they don't last all spring or all year, you know, like roses, you deadhead them and they repeatedly bloom throughout the year. But sadly, peonies are just like a one-time stunner through the season, and then they provide you beautiful foliage, and then they go to sleep for the winter. Oh yeah, there is a question for Altenew from Fanny Diaz 9. Yes, food. So much food tomorrow. That's also on my plan. Okay. So in the same family of inks as Heartbeat is Berry Mocha. This ink right here. And I linked it in the description box. I just don't remember which ink family it's from. Oh, I have my little swatch book here. Hold on. It is, I just don't want to lie to y'all. Tea Party. Tea Party family of inks. I should have linked that in the description box. And yes, peonies do smell so good. I have 3 varieties in my garden. And I bought them specifically because they were highly fragrant, according to the description, and it was true. Like in the spring, I have them on the west side, the southwest side of my plot, and I can smell them on the northeast side, the far east side, when they bloom. Just a gorgeous smell. Oh, that's true, because I think it's too hot in California. They got a little too roasty, and they need that period of cool. So with Berry Mocha, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this ink in the center to create a little bit of a deep gradient. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this live, for those of you who have come in a little bit later, I appreciate it. I was talking about this rose image called Dr. Huey. It's what most of the North American roses are grafted to if you get like a patented variety. And they're just this beautiful deep red climbing rose. And mine sort of came out by accident. I had a rose that didn't make it for whatever reason, a rose variety that just didn't come back this year, and it reverted back to its own root, which is Dr. Huey. It's just really known for its resistance to a lot of diseases that come from roses or infect roses, and they're cold hardy down to zone 5, and I'm in a zone 5 in Denver, so. The chat, it is so much more active than it usually is, so I'm glad. But I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything at the same time. Ink blending berry mocha on the center. Nothing unusual with how I'm blending these either. It's just smooth little gradient in the center. I didn't want anything like too realistic this time. To know something was actually curious about. Yeah. And then I'll apply a little bit to the bud image as well. Just enough to show. And then just a little bit to the tip of this more closed bud image. Just like that. And thank you, Nicole. So that's Berry Mocha from Tea Party, Fresh Dye ink set. Now, I do like my inks to dry back a little bit before I start gluing them. I just think it helps the liquid glue. Did I study art? I did not. By trade, perfect. I'll just answer this question while the ink is drying. I'm a full-time scientist by trade, so I work at a hospital as a medical laboratory scientist. And that's what I do full time. So that's why I go live so late. Luckily, I don't want to jinx myself or anything, but I work Monday through Friday during the day shift, and so I don't work weekends or holidays. But I save the weekends for when I have to do other Altenew obligations, like my perfect pairing series or any sort of other videos I'm interested in. I'm working on other projects right now, so that I can't really divulge, but that's what I'm spending a lot of my weekends on. And so yeah, I didn't study art, but I'm really passionate about it. I have a few books about like the science of color and composition, artful elements. I have a few books on, chiaroscuro, the formula that's used to create natural looking shadows when drawing or illustrating. I'm just not an illustrator. I wish I had more of the time to draw, but it's sort of a passion project of mine. So yes, and I love a good botanic garden. Somebody mentioned Massachusetts. I've been to their botanic gardens, absolutely stunning. Been to the Seattle Botanic Garden, been to the Botanic Garden in Utah, Salt Lake. Of course, the Denver Botanic Garden I've been to many times here. I love it. It's just, I don't know, it's just my source of inspiration, and it's sort of my hobby / passion project, and something aside from what I do full time. So, yes. Well, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, we'll just bring this back down. I like the inks to dry back a little bit, because when they're still like saturated in the center, it's hard for the glue to really adhere to anything. So just a little precautionary step that I like to take whenever I'm assembling these. So in order, using the keyhole alignment guide, again, I have oriented these. Let me see if I can get something where you can see it just a little bit better. Oh, there we go. For those of you not familiar with the keyhole alignment system, let's just focus on one flower real quick. Just this one. And it's hard to see, but there are little braille etching dots on this one. So you can kind of see the one is sort of tucked into this sharp corner right here. So there's one dot, which means it's the first layer. The second one is steady right here and here. So that's number 2. And then this one is sort of fragmented, but it's 1, 2, and 3. So that's how I know what order to put them in. Otherwise, if you like to compare by shape, you can certainly do that on the back of the Altenew packaging. So 1, 2, 3, and then there are other center elements. Oh, I didn't even ink blend those. I am not even ready to glue this down yet. I was so excited. I learned what I know about colors, design, etc. from scrapbooking and stamping for the last 26 years. Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes it's like practice before theory, you know, and you kind of just find out what works for you. I guess because of the way I work, I do like a lot of like, why is composition designed this way? What is the meaning behind certain forms of composition? So yes, I do that a lot. It's just the way I think. I think a lot. Okay, so I did the petal elements. Let me just set this off to the side so it's not so distracting. And then we can start gluing these down. Once I've got everything ink blended, silly me. And then there's the bud image. A lot of folks ask what to use to clean their sticky mat grid. I have a soapy water solution in the spray bottle that I use to wipe this off. And then I just use a paper towel, something that doesn't have lint on it, to wipe off the suspended ink. And then let it air dry. So we have time. There's so many botanic gardens I need to go to. I was in Puerto Vallarta in early October, and I went to their botanic garden. And first, I got bit by so many bugs. But then, you know, I really like looking at native foliage and flowers. It's probably the first thing I notice whenever I go somewhere else, is like, what sort of plants grow here naturally? I mean, you're right, Trisha. Yeah, so like they mention, I really don't like heat embossing. It's noisy. I feel like there's a lot of prep work. If you don't do it right, then you get stray embossing powder. It's hot, you know, like you hurt yourself. I always end up burning my fingers whenever I heat emboss. So it's my least favorite technique, but it is pretty rewarding when it works. And then the paper warps, it's not so flat, but I'm surprised. Like heat embossed this panel and it did warp the other day. I set it down, whatever it was, it had like bowed up. And then I came back this morning because I prepped all of these panels. I usually prep before my lives the day of. But this time I did it the day ahead of time just to get an idea of what I wanted to make. And this one like actually ended up drying flat. So this is Evergreen Cardstock Gold Embossing Powder. I mean, there's a lot of heat to be applied to this and it actually dried flat. So maybe just give it some time. But yeah, favorite ink blending technique is ink blending, especially like with the Altenew mini ink blending tools. I just think for how I like to make and the perfect sort of botanical inspired floral cards, right, that ink blending is just an easy technique. And the next thing I would probably put as a favorite is watercolor. I just don't do it as often as I used to because it takes a lot of time. But yeah, that would be another thing I would like to do, or that I like doing. Is my code not working? It should. Jaycee Live 4, this one right here, it should pop up. I tried it when I started adding things to my cart because I was trying to see if you could stack this deal with the $20 sticky mat grid and the free gift that you can get if you spend over $69, and then as well as free shipping over 29. So this code did work for me. Just make sure that you click on the Crafted Flower, Prairie Roses, and the one-time item only. I don't know if that matters instead of the subscription. So, yeah. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Settle down. Have you ever visited Portland? You know, actually, Portland is one place that I've been thinking about going to. I hear there's, Kathy, are you from Portland? And you don't have to answer that. But I know there are beautiful waterfalls, or there's like some sort of water-like feature there that Portland is known for. So, who's okay? Glad to see the code work. Oh, okay. Made me nervous there for a moment. I was like, Mitzi, help! What do I do? Okay. Leaves. So this is Forest Glades, Crafty Necessities cardstock. So I cut the foliage layer for the bud image. And then there is a cluster that makes a branch, which is this one right here. It's just a different way of layering these images, which is this large one right here. So you can use this one. I did not die cut from this one. It was this image, and then this one is what I used. So. Forest Glades. What was I supposed to mention about Forest Glades? Oh, it's in the same color family as Evergreen, which is this panel right here. So I just moved down the line of values in green fields, and it was just easy to match things. So, and then here are the flower centers. Again, there are little etched or cut out elements. Like here's the up arrow. Here's the other up arrow, the upside down T, and the fused circle. They all match, as well as these other flower centers. So I'm going to bring those onto my mat. And we're almost at an hour, so we're making good time, I hope. I feel like at the end I always end up scrambling, because we get to chatting and it's fun. I think I always see a picture of one of the falls in Oregon. I just don't remember which one. There's like, I think you can go behind it. I appreciate you still joining, Michael. And that's all right. I understand, like, a lot of you have family today. So I still appreciate that you all are still able to join me. So yeah. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving if you're not able to stick around the whole time. Yeah. I wish color theory, I wish I spent more time researching it. It's such an interesting topic because it's like the amalgamation of, like, for me, like the physics of wavelengths. But then it's just like this really interesting perspective of how colors still work together, and what we perceive as beautiful, what we don't perceive as harmonious palettes. So I've always been really interested in that. If I could start all over, I feel like that would be my thesis. My actual thesis for college was not nearly as exciting. And at one point, I felt really intelligent. Yeah, I think it is Silver Falls that you can go behind. Oh, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. Yeah. And it's not too far from the city center. I hear there are really accessible ways of getting there. I really heavily considered it, going to Portland, Oregon. Because I hear it's kind of, I like Seattle. It's kind of like Denver, but with water. Here we go. And thank you for the reminder of the thumbs up. I get so excited when we get in the chat, just to see what everybody's up to. So, yes. Okay, let's start with the Forest Glades elements here. And I used, what was the card, or what was the ink? Now I don't remember what I ended up using. Oh, I do remember. Okay, it was a blue-green, which was... Oh no, I knew I should have written it down. I did a tester, which is why I'm like, I'm trying to stay true to what I actually made the first time. You know what? I don't remember. I think it's going to be Lagoon now. I wanted like a blue-green shift, something a little cooler to match the season and the holiday. How did I get into paper crafting? Oh, I love answering that question. So I started paper crafting. Well, so I've always been a little bit of a creative. It sort of stemmed from maybe my childhood admiration for the highlights magazines, right? There was like a make it section, because I'm not a big reader. I just never have been. I don't know. My reading comprehension is poor. I'll just admit, and I think it took me a long time to understand that as an adult. But I was really excited by the make it section, so I always really liked creating things. I've done a few yarn crafts, needle crafts, sewing, watercolor painting, acrylic painting, and then I did that quietly. But then when I went to my medical laboratory science program, I wanted to write thank you cards for instructors, and also make cards for to give to my classmates. We were a very small class in my science program, medical laboratory science program. And as a creative, I thought, well, let me just go to Michael's. How hard could it be, right, to make a card? And so I put on people I'm sure you all are familiar with, Amy R., Kathy Zilski, Jennifer McGuire, Christina Werner, and I watched many tutorials, and I was like, I can do that. And those cards were hideous, and I proudly gave them away to, you know, my instructors and my classmates. And then I was just like, well, I have all this stuff. I went from card making really abruptly into sort of scrapbooking. And so I did that quietly again for a long time. And then Altenew showed up. So I graduated in 2015 from my laboratory science program. And then in 2019, Vintage Flowers was on my feed for YouTube. And I was like, how easy is that? That is so cool. And that was probably the first time I bought like a non-big box type stamping product, was from Altenew for Vintage Flowers. Because I had like a different sort of ink system at the time, and I had layers, or I could perceive layers with them, but it was not nearly as good as the crisp dye inks at the time. And then slowly I started finding out more about Altenew and other crafting companies as well, who emerged around the same time. And it was exciting, you know, that there was a lot of inspiration on YouTube and such. And then I didn't start sharing what I was making until that same year, in about 2019. And I found out about the Altenew certification program, the Altenew educators. So at the time it was run by Virginia Liu and Aram. So I got to know them a lot. And that was sort of the beginning of the end. I started a YouTube channel. And then here we are. I can't believe I'm live. Like, I have this whole room dedicated to just going live. And then I came to the dark side. That's right. I saw something else above it. Oh yeah, I feel like that's what the sticky mat grid is for. It has to be perfect on the mat, so it's nice to look at. Are we the same birthday? Are we? If she's a Libra, then I knew it. She's my people. um, that's so funny. But yes, and yeah, it truly is full circle that we get to do these things live, and I got to be inspired by the people who also support, you know, my craft. So, and I've gotten the opportunity to meet Jennifer many times, Christina many times, Kathy Zilski virtually, Miss Bassin twice now, and I met Carissa Wiley at the previous summer retreat. Good times. Oh, Mindy. Um, really, her birthday is also October 19th. That is crazy. We are basically twins. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's how I got started. I started two careers. I like to tell people, like when they ask, I started two careers when I graduated from medical laboratory science program, my lab science program. So lab science and then paper crafting / content creating. Mitzi, you're a Libra. We're triplets now. Okay. Let's get the cardstock here is Honey Drizzle. That's the darkest ink that's in the set. So I did borrow from another yellow set. This is raw amber. And so I'll just take another mini ink blending tool, just apply a little bit of this shadow in the center to give it a little bit of depth. We'll be covering up this little bit anyway. So not too concerned about if it's perfect. And now we can, yes, and definitely spend a lot of money on it. Grateful for the opportunity though. If it wasn't for the folks at Altenew, like a lot of this wouldn't be possible for me. So I get to do my passion project. I get to interact with you all. I get to work with a great company and a company that I'm really passionate about because Altenew is also really diverse. And so that's really important to me. At least for my values. Okay, let's bring this back and start assembling. I'm gonna nudge this over to the side. And just so that you can see the alignment in the center of these elements as we glue them. For me, I use a liquid glue that dries tacky. So I'm gonna apply glue to all of the centers around the alignment system. So you actually don't apply glue to the entire piece. You just apply glue to around the inner part of these alignment guides here. Well, and I really admire Jennifer McGuire's, like if I feel like she's helped really give me a platform to really express my own perspective on paper crafting and what I like to do. I've made a few guest videos on her channel using Altenew products as well, so I'm grateful for that. Precision there. Okay. And let's see. I'll also bring in these pieces and do the same thing. Just a little bit of glue on the periphery around the cutout for the alignment. And I've assembled these images a few times, so I kind of know how they go already. Otherwise, I would reference the alignment guide that's found on the packaging. She does say that she's the president of my club. It just I just don't like saying that out loud. It just sounds it feels I don't know, it's very humbling. So I appreciate that from her. I'll see them very soon here in an upcoming event, so that'll be exciting. to run into Jennifer again. Okay, oh, actually I switched these. This goes down here. This goes up here. And I'll worry about the centers in just a moment. So almost to an hour, we should be almost done with the assembly part of this card. Or we should be almost done with the layering part, and then we'll move on to assembly. So I'm just moving down the cardstock layers, again going in numerical order based on the etching found on the centers here. So here's one, I'll put two on top of one. Make sure that I can see through the cutouts in the center. And it's as easy as that when it comes to layering. So Altenew has really pioneered this sort of layering system and made it really accessible for everyone, which I really enjoy. Oh yeah, that was my live just a few weeks ago, so I appreciate you joining me then for my cats. That was such a fun card to make as well. And definitely different from this one. So okay, and then here's the up arrow images. Biscuit, that's so cute. And of course he's got to be orange, right? Boy or orange. Grandma, my orange cat, my boy. Definitely my most rambunctious cat. And they're not very bad. Like, my cats aren't bad. It's just like very it's, you know, the orange personality, but also the sweetest, one of the sweetest. Okay, so that's the petals and the anthers and stamens. So this little centerpiece here. Just gonna apply a little bit more glue, and then we can work on hiding this center element for these roses, which is so easy. So this is my fused circle image up here. We'll take this open layer right there and align it just as we normally would, okay? And now you follow the outline of these images. So this shape matches the cutout layer for the center. And then you just overlay that on top, and then you don't see the alignment the alignment cutout in the center. And then there's this little highlight piece to sort of round the image off. Just put that on top. Just little added details here and there to close off the center. Here's my upside down T. That's our base for aligning this more solid piece. And then this little highlight right here goes on top. I like to use these reverse tweezers to hold these layers together, just for some extra security as they dry. And then here's that last up arrow. Now I have tried to glue these out of order, not this particular die set, but there was another Crafty flower called Zinnia, and it's a little bit older. It doesn't have, I don't remember if it has the alignment cutouts in the center. But you could certainly layer them and orient them differently, and you just got a different looking flower. So you can always do a dry fit. I usually do when I do my designer projects, just to get a pretty good when I'm testing out colors and color palettes. I like completely lost my train of thought there. And thank you. Again, these roses are inspired by Dr. Huey roses, the own root the own root roses that usually patented variety of roses are grafted to. It really does. And that's why I like doing it so often with Altenew's mini ink blending tools. I think they're so easy to create these really intricate and really detailed looks to flowers. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing, if you're interested, let me know in like more of these crafted flower die cuts. I have other live sessions planned for December. I just don't have the topic quite figured out yet. So I have a few things that I have to do, right? But otherwise, if you're interested in more of these layering dies for flowers, let me know and I can definitely focus on them on future live sessions. Or if you want to see something else or what have you, just let me know in the chat. Okay, where are we at? Almost 30 minutes. Okay, so while this is held down, let me get, oh, here it is. This is the last piece that also needs a layer to it. And I won't use the entire length of this stem to arrange on my card front. So I'll take this bud and that bottom piece, that pointy bottom area of the bud matches with the stem. You kind of just layer the two together. And then there's just a different variation of the flower image. So let's bring this back so that we can take a look. This one doesn't have a coordinating piece to it, but that's what the ink blending is for, to make it look like a very young bud. And then this one's a little bit more open. So creative cuts, that's a good point. I actually don't use the creative cuts as often as the other products. So that's a good point. I'll definitely think about that and make note of it in my post session here to make sure that I include other things. But Craft a Flower seems to be a hit. I appreciate that. If I had to pick a favorite Altenew subscription, it would be Craft a Flower, of course. And then if you subscribe to my channel, I use it a lot. And if you also subscribe to my blog, it's one of the ones I consistently like to feature for their blog posts. And then after that, it would be Build a Garden. Build a Garden for sure as well. Rose Flurries. Is that the smaller one? It had like 4 images, completed images in it, Rose Flurries. I think I also have that one. And I think it was one of the reasons why I ended up buying a die cutting machine. So there we go. Those are all the layered die cut pieces. So then we just have to bring in these other elements. So here's my background again, heat embossed with cornered stamps, stamp set, and then the Timeless Sentiments Holiday Edition. So I stacked and glued the All Is Calm on top of Brush Gold cardstock. Oh, Mitzi, if you were to design a craft of flower, what flower would it be? This was asked a few releases ago. Maybe it's been a few years now. I suggested Epiphyllum, and then it came out just a few months later. So I don't know if that was coincidence or if that was me. But Epiphyllum, or the dragon fruit looking cactus flower. Beautiful flower. I just haven't seen anything like that yet. So that was exciting to see Epiphyllum come out. And then if I had to choose another craft of flower, I'm like quickly running through my garden right now to see. Is there a dahlia one yet? Like a true dinner plate dahlia with the really pointy blooms and the just like the I don't even know how to describe the shape. I don't know too much about dahlias, but I also really like dahlia foliage. It's like very jagged, and it matches the flower element. But in the chat, also let me know, what other flowers would you like to see um, from Craft a Flower. I'm trying to go through my native flowers in Denver. Larkspur was another great one for Denver. Larkspur is also uh, very prolific here in the high altitude climate. Um, but you know, I also would like to see from Craft a Flower the other non-North American type flowers. So when I went to, I mean, Mexico's in North America, but when I was at their botanic garden, there were other flowers that I have never seen before that were just absolutely beautiful and stunning. That I was like, you know what, that would make a. I'll have to share the pictures with you so that you can see, or I'd have to go through the pictures again to remember what they were, because you know, I don't, they're not native in the States, so I don't know what they were called. Book engraving stamp set. I don't think I have that one, unfortunately, Barbara. Uh, or do I? I'd have to look again. I'd have to look in my computer to see which one that is. You'll have to let me know your secrets on dahlias. I have dahlia tubers, and I tried them in containers. I tried them in the ground, and I got lazy and I didn't dig them back up. So then I lost them. I can't leave them in the ground here in Denver. So, have they done a honeysuckle? Oh, honeysuckle's also really good. I know there was a build a flower, build a garden. I'm not sure which one it was. Honeysuckle that I also really liked. But I think it focused on one bloom. But the beautiful thing about honeysuckle is that it climbs. So that'd be an interesting one to see as well. Let me get this off of here and we'll start assembling. Assembling this is really easy. I let the sentiment do a lot of the work on the center of this. Ooh, sorry, I got so caught up in the chat, I almost forgot I was making something. Let's see. So then I adhered this one to the center using the 1/2 inch wide by 1/8 inch thick instant dimension foam tape. And I tried not to apply too much of this because I wanted these floral elements to be tucked in behind it. So it's going to look really sparse, but it'll still be pretty secure. Oh, hydrangea is a good one. And I centered this like this. Sorry if y'all are seeing the top of my head too much. There we go. Okay. Then I'll arrange the flowers and I'll use the thinner instant dimension foam tape. This one here, the 16 of an inch thick instant dimension foam tape. And I'm cutting 3 small pieces just to put behind my flower elements. Yeah, Leanne, the Christmas cactus flower is similar to what I was looking at for the epiphyllum. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see too, because the foliage is a little bit different. Thank you, Minty, for getting that. I was like, I see a question, but it's gonna start moving off my screen and I'm gonna miss it. Mitzi, it's so good she's in the clouds. So that's why we have a Mitzi. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. The whole point of this live. So I'm gonna grab Cloud White pigment ink before I do anything else as far as gluing these down. And what I did was I frosted these petals because I wanted this to be a holiday card. Still have that vintage feel, so I'm not doing anything exact. And every once in a while, I like to do a direct to inking, direct to cardstock inking technique. Just for a little bit of imprecision and a little bit of like what could truly happen, you know? And with these softer pads on the pigment inks, you just feel like you get that nice, really diffused glow on the outside. And I'll do this for the foliage elements as well. Love the frosted appearance. So I'm just taking these die cut leaves, pressing them directly into the ink pad, making sure that I capture edges and get an uneven impression, just like that. A little bit on the bud as well. And just for a little bit more on the flowers, I'm just stippling this on the edges of the petals. With a dedicated ink blending tool. There we go. Just another way to extend your floral images throughout the year. And Cloud White Pigment ink is a great one for that. So if I need more, I'm just going to leave it off to the side for now. As I assemble this, maybe I'll find out that I just want a little bit more snow on my card. So I'm just going to assemble this now, tucking this image underneath the sentiment so that it's all nicely framed. Again, I used the 1/16 inch thick instant dimension foam tape on the flowers and the 1/8 inch thick instant dimension foam tape on the sentiment so that it's taller than the flowers. Sorry, so that the sentiment is taller than the flowers. Then I'm going to snip a little bit off of the bud images so that they can be tucked in behind the other flower images. And this time I'll use liquid glue on the bud images as well as the foliage. You know, speaking of holidays, have we had a poinsettia one yet? And also for fall, spider mums. I just like finally came to my senses with that. And then for leaves, I like a little bit of more variation. So I've done this before where I like to break apart the leaves just to get a different arrangement. This one, I like the way it looks already. Put that right back here. Let's see. Put this one. I'm really just trying to nicely surround and frame the sentiment. So that's why I'm picking this sort of deliberate placement of everything. Cute, okay. Keep that going. More foliage up here. And almost done. Last one. Then I just feel like this card needs a little bit of embellishment, so we'll do that as sort of the last step here. Okay, so Cloud White pigment ink to give that sort of frosted appearance. I think I will need just a little bit more, so I'll do that. Taking my dedicated white blending brush, stippling the edges, and the nice thing about pigment ink is if you go a little bit overboard, you can kind of wipe it off. And you know, these sort of remind me like when you go to the big box stores and you buy those fake floral stems. Some of them have this sort of appearance to them, or maybe they add like a gilded rose petal or a gilded edge to the flower petals. Maybe they'd bedazzle them sometimes. I might have frequented the fake floral stems, you know, so. I don't know, Leanne, what should we do? Or sorry, that was Geraldine, my bad. I did plan to extend the whites in here. So I will take my favorite pure white ink spray. And to hide some of the little oopsies that I made, like maybe that was a little bit too much white, but that's okay. We'll just add a little bit of splatter to cover that up. Here we go. Let me move this off to the side real quick. Clean this up so we have a nicer platform to view the finished card onto. As I clean this up, and before we wrap up, I just wanted to mention all of the things that seem to be going on in the chat. So it's this code down here, Jaycee Live 4, and you get 45% off on the Craft of Flower, sorry, just the Craft of Flower Prairie Roses, so not the subscription. It's just this one. And then, so this is one deal that you can get today, tomorrow, and the day after. And this one is exclusive to the live section. So this one doesn't automatically get applied to your cart. You'll have to use my code. I appreciate, that's my thank you for joining this live today. And for Altenew for giving me this platform to use their products on today's live. So this is one thing that you can stack, Jaycee Live 4. Then if you spend over $69, you get this free Heritage Chevron Waves stencil. Beautiful stencil. It's at $6.99 value. This one will get automatically added to your cart if you go over 69 bucks. And that's after discount. So after the 45% off from Craft of Flower Prairie Roses. So in addition to that, you get a free gift. The sticky mat grid is today only as well, 20 bucks. For the sticky mat grid, you saw me use that to ink blend the layers for the roses onto. And if you've seen any of my videos or my lives, I use this all the time. I use this is if I had to pick 5 tools, this would be one of them. Maybe we can cover what the other 4 tools are in a different live. So there's that. And during this time, today's the last day for at least this value of free shipping, I think. So free shipping over US orders on 29. But the thing is if you're an international, there is a code that you have to use. So you can't use my Prairie Roses one in addition to this international free shipping one. But I think the Prairie Roses discount is better because you get like more off, I should say. So yeah, again, Jaycee Life 4 is the discount code for Crafted Flower Prairie Roses, which is what I focused on this card today. So I really appreciate you all joining me live this evening. Here's the final card, and here is my draft that I made. So now I have 2 cards ready for holiday. Yeah, just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Thank you to Mitzi for joining me in the clouds this evening, and for her over in the Philippines, in my heritage country, because I'm Filipino as well. That they're able to join me over there. So let's see if there are not any last minute questions. What time is it? Oh, we finished with 8 minutes to spare. So good at this. I'm getting so much better. And there are no gremlins. The gremlins stayed away from this live stream today. So yes. And for us in the States, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. I know many of you have family over, so I appreciate you joining me. Stay tuned to my channel. Give this video, this live a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I have many live sessions planned. And for those of you who stuck around to the end, I have something to reveal on Wednesday and Thursday, December 3rd and December 4th. So I can't say too much, but stay tuned to those live announcements. I'm really excited. I have been working so hard on what's about to come. And it's my baby, so I have to be really proud of it. So thank you all for tuning into this live to the very last minute. Those of you, Leanne, and so many of you who I keep seeing the names of on the chat who have stayed this whole live section and who have joined me multiple times in my life. So anyway, again, thank you to Altenew and Mitzi for providing this wonderful discount code. You saw Nicole, she popped into the chat for a little bit. So thank you for this opportunity to present Altenew and to use their products on my live channel. And for all of us in the States, happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe if you're traveling. And I will see you on December 3rd. That's the Wednesday, 9:30 Mountain Time. December 4th at 17:30 Mountain Standard Time. So whatever time that is for you, where you are, please join me then and turn on the notifications on my channel. So happy Thanksgiving. Have a good evening. Have a good day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.